wasn't going to tap in today, but there's a lot going on, obviously, in the news, right? Per usual. I do want to say big thank you to everybody who caught the Block Talent Battle on Saturday. Quite the success. It was a lot of fun. Stay tuned every Saturday. We're going to do it every Saturday. You guys know there's a cash prize. Okay, Block Talent Battle. Everybody with talent pops up. We have a guest judge. Lily and I judge, but you guys get to vote and pick a winner. We already have a front runner, and I doubt anyone's going to catch up to her at this point. But we will be announced. With that said, you guys have a week to vote, so we will be announcing the winner next Saturday, and we'll have some new talent competing for the cash prize. What's up, Shiali? I see Front Street with Liberty tapping in from Kansas City. I'd love to get your opinion on how the environment and air is out there right now. I can imagine there's a lot of tension in the air. So welcome to On the Block with Jen. If you're here for the first time, where you been? Welcome. Hit that like and subscribe. Hello to all my new subbies. I got a lot of new subbies. I appreciate you. You can reach me on the Block with Jen on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, on the Block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to send me a topic, a question, a suggestion, a collaboration, a business inquiry, a real business inquiry, on the Block with Jen at Gmail. And also, if you want to compete in the Block Talent Battle next Saturday, on the Block with Jen at Gmail, send me your picture and what your talent is. Very, very simple. Just send me your picture and what your talent is, and I will send you the link to Cam Up next Saturday for a Block Talent Battle. Special shout out to Drew Frazier, who was our guest judge last Saturday. Special shout out to everybody who showed up and gave us their talent. It is not easy to do, to come up on screen and be judged by perfect strangers. So salute to them. It took a lot of guts, whether you like their talent a lot. It took a lot of guts. Got a little crazy. Some of the talent got a little crazy. You guys could check that out. Just go to my page, the gallery, the Block Talent Battle is there. Okay, we had like 5 or 6 contestants. You guys could check that out on your own and stay tuned for next Saturday. With that said, let me bring up No Saint. We need a big race bell today because this stream is all going to be all about race. But I did say at the beginning, I'm accepting all your feelings and emotions tonight. I'm going to be talking about the Ralph Yarl shooting. Obviously, Ralph Yarl shooting. Is it too early to stamp racially motivated? Oh, shit. Did she say that? What the fuck is she talking about? It was racial. It was racist. I get it. Everybody calm down. We're still going to talk about it, okay? You guys know I am your favorite devil's advocate, so I'm always going to bring it to you from a different point of view. You guys can accept it, yay or nay. You can rebut, contradict. You guys can come on up. Show your face, though. We don't argue with avatars here. Lily is taking the night off. She's a little bit under the weather, but she'll be back with us this week, of course. I don't know if Haran is going to pull up, but let's pull up No Saint. How are you, darling?
Hello, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I am fresh out the gym, okay? So I couldn't even glam up. I was like, they're going to get what they're going to get tonight.
I do like the glasses are nice.
Thank you. I was like, I don't have any makeup on, so I was like, let me throw on the glasses real quick, give it a little pizzazz since I don't have my mascara on. This is how women disguise themselves, right? Yeah. But I'm straight out the gym, so I'm hype. I'm feeling good. Did upper body today.
You are one of the fortunate women because I see people online that do makeup on, and the dramatic differences where you can get away with it. It's not like a shocker, you know. It's not like
that's true because this is me without makeup. It's not a huge difference for me with mascara.
Right.
It's not a huge difference. Yeah. I woke up like this. I see you backstage, darling, but we doing faces. We don't do avatars anymore. This is the 2023.
I want George up here.
It would be great if George was here. It would be freaking great, man. I see you, Mama. I'm going to bring you up. All right, guys. So let's get into this conversation. It's going to be a heavy conversation. Let's see what happens tonight, okay? Front Street, he's tapping in from Kansas City. He says it's definitely very tense right now. I can imagine. He also says, I'm going to try and go out there tomorrow and get some up and close. Good. Everyday Lee says, stick to your day job. Baby, this is my day job. Welcome to you as well. All right. No Saint. Yeah. No Saint. Have you heard?
Yes.
Have you heard?
Yes.
You've heard, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think you and I are going to differ.
We might.
I think we're going to have a difference.
We might.
Of opinion. OG, I see you. I'm gonna need your face up here, mama. I don't strict rules 2023. I don't do avatars. We're gonna need your face the whole time you're speaking. You're a beautiful woman. Let's see your face, mama. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I was just waiting till bring me up. I heard what you said about the cam up thing.
Oh,
How are
thank you.
you?
I'm really, really good. It's actually good to see your face. I've always seen your name for like a year.
I know it's good to see yours as well, and it's good to be seen.
Hello, right? Tell him
Hello.
again.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
good to be seen. Okay.
Hello. All right, guys. I wish maybe George would pull up in a minute once he sees the light blinking that I'm on. So, okay, we're not going to be here long. Okay, I doubt it. This is Monday, so I just wanted to jump on this story, right, while it's simmering. First things first, Ralph Yarl, 16-year-old boy shot in the head and arm, went to the wrong address to pick up his siblings. Thankfully, he is alive and well, and baby boy is back home. That's how well he's doing. I thought he was going to be in the hospital for a while, but he is back home tonight. Okay. So that is the good news. So we're going to get into the mess of it all. My question tonight is it too early to stamp racially motivated? I have my reasons for why I'm saying that. Listen, I'm the type of person, I like to hear all the evidence, and I can be very, very neutral until then. And after the evidence comes out, it's time to scorch earth. But I do not let the media fuck with my feelings and my emotions, because I know they have an agenda, and that is what they want, because race is huge clickbait on social media, and I'm not going to let you fuck with my feelings. Now, when the evidence comes out, like let's say the shooter, his name is Andrew Lester, 84-year-old man. Let's say we find out the shooter has a Confederate flag in his living room, you know what I mean? And maybe a MAGA hat, you know what I'm saying? Or has previous history of racial derogatory, terms as he spit at people from his front lawn, then let's scorch the earth. But you're not gonna, CNN, Fox News, you're not gonna pull me to and fro. Did it bring tears to my eyes, that little boy? Yes, because I have babies in my family. I have babies that have babies. They're all black and brown, okay? So of course you feel it, right? You see that little boy in that hospital bed, you know what I mean? And you want to go after somebody, but I was like, woosah, let's wait for the evidence in its entirety regarding race, because I think the dude is guilty. But I'm specifically talking about race, that factor of race. Can we just say it was racially motivated because dude is white, baby boy was black? Can we ask that question? I'm going to pass the mic. I'll pass it to OG first, ladies first as usual on the block. OG, what do you think about this story before we pass the mic to No Saint?
Well, I just recently looked a little bit into this case when I heard about it going viral on social media. And so even the update that you just gave, I didn't even know the young man was home. So that's an awesome thing, right? So to my knowledge, the only thing that I know is that he went to the wrong house or something to pick up his siblings. And I don't know how that came about, and then he was shot by a white man. That's all I heard. I didn't even know the age of the white man. So I would definitely say that I would have to have more information come out, because when I think of the age of this man, I think he probably would have panicked and possibly did that to anyone, because he's an 80-something-year-old, probably fragile, afraid. So, assuming someone is breaking into his home, uninvited, not knowing, he probably panicked. So I would say, yeah, I think it's a little bit too early until, if the young man is able to give his side of the story, and if evidence and all of that kind of match up to what happened during the incident, I think it is a little bit too premature to just stamp it with a race thing, in my humble opinion.
Okay, thank you for your opinion, OG. I'm gonna get to the chat. Don't forget, you can super chat your comments. I'll throw them up here or Cash App on the Block with Jen to support the channel. Another note, it was to piggyback off what you said, OG. It was roundabout almost between 9-10 p.m. So now we're dealing with it's dark outside. Okay, so that's another factor to know about. It's not like it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 9 to 10 o'clock at night, you're an old man, you're 85, you're paranoid, you're frail. I'm just saying. And please do not misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not defending this guy. He should be in jail. I don't care how old he is. You can't just shoot people on your front porch because they're knocking on the door. I'm saying these are the factors that are going to come up in court because whether we like it or not, he will have a defense attorney. That's whether we like it or not. And these things will come up. Time of day, state of mind, age. Okay. These things are going to come up, whether he's guilty or not. And that's what I want to dissect. No Saint, what say you?
Well, unfortunately, I think that, the lawyers are going to get to him before he's able to come out and make a statement. I think it would be better if he came out and said what his state of mind was instead of letting everybody assume. But I'm going to come at it a different angle. I don't know what his mindset is. I don't know that he is racist. I think all of this comes about because of the laws that have been passed in this country about these castle laws where people, and he could have had that door locked and called for the police. I know in certain communities, police aren't looked as a good thing. He's an old white man. Police are going to be there. And not just that. I think this plays on, yes. Do I know if he's a racist? No. Does systemic racism have a part to play? Absolutely. Because
how so?
Well, we've been shown all our lives, especially if you grow up where I grew up, all the criminals are black people. So especially somebody at that age who's been seeing it even further back than that, a black person comes up to your door, you're automatically thinking they're trying to rob you. You know what I mean? I mean, in his mindset, he thinks that harm's going to be done. The same thing happened here about 7 or 8 years ago in Michigan. When I was living in Michigan, there was a young lady that got in a car accident, and she was looking for help, and she showed up and knocked on the door, and she had blood coming down and was shot. She might have lived too. I'm not positive on that, but the same thing happened, like shooting through the screen door. You don't have to shoot somebody when they show up at your door. That's what I'm talking about. So I think racism has a part to do with it. Not that he's a racist, but just the society we live in definitely plays in that. Because, and I'll go back to my experience when I was in high school. My dad was a teacher, and I went to school across the river, right? So I was out of district, but my friends came over, and I don't think I was home yet or something, and there was 2 black guys came over and were knocking on the door, and man, the police showed up, and my dad showed up afterwards, like, no, that's some of my students. You know what I mean? But I mean, what else can you think other than it's a different tribe. They're in a place that you're not used to seeing people of color in the neighborhood, or you have that mindset that you think they're going to do something wrong. So I mean, I went to these kids' house, these guys' houses. Oh, they were kids at the time. I was a kid too. To their house all the time. I never had the police called on me. You know what I mean? So there's different experiences. So yeah, I think racism, as far as like, has something to do with it. Now, do I think he's a racist? I don't know. I don't know if he's a racist. There's a difference, though.
Where I do think racism plays a part, which is, I think it was great that people went out and protested right away, is because of the country we live in, they drag their feet, right? When the victim is black and the suspect is white, they do drag their feet, right? It's kind of like, well, we'll see. Right. And we all know if it's a blonde, blue-eyed woman, then we have 155 specials on Discovery ID. Right. Where's the white lady at? Let's find the white girl. Right. But we do know they drag their feet, especially with black children. So I'm glad that they went out there. I think that's the reason why they acted so quickly. And just to be clear, the man is charged with first-degree armed criminal action, assault in the first degree, and armed criminal action. Now, we don't know what's going to stick, but the man has been charged. So I want everybody to know on that update. I also agree with you, No Saint, where it's like the other factor of racism playing a part is this is an 85-year-old man. That means when that man was in his 20s, it was nothing but racism down in Kansas City. Okay. In his 30s, in his 40s, in his 50s, in his 60s, in his 70s. Now he's 85 and there's a black at the door at 10 o'clock at night. Oh, Nelly. Right? So all of that plays a factor as well. I agree with you 100%. I'm glad that they went out there and raised Cain because, now he's been charged and I guarantee they would have been dragging their feet. I do want to address this comment. Front Street is out in Kansas City right now. He says the victim was shot and wounded and went to 2 different residences for assistance and didn't get any till the last house and was made to hold his hands above his head till the ambulances showed up. That is false. That's false. Oh, okay. So what happened was people were calling 911. The 911 operator told them what they tell all of us, stay in the motherfucking house because we don't know where the shooter is. When you call 911, does anyone have a gun? Who's shooting? The only thing you could say is there's someone outside there bleeding. You don't know what's going on. The 911 operator will tell you, keep your ass in the house. Now, with that said, one of the women that called 911, I don't know if she's white or black. I am guessing, if I had to guess, that she was white because of that neighborhood. I'm guessing she was white, but she says she called 911 and the operator told her stay in the house. She stayed in the house, but then she said she couldn't help it anymore, went outside with towels and was doing compressions on the boy with the towels to stop the bleeding. See, that's the shit that they don't give us. That's the information they don't give us because they want us angry. They want us to think this little boy's running around crazy and no one is helping. But 911 tells you stay your ass in the house. Now, if you got attitudes like we got or whoever that woman was, you're going to go outside and help that baby, right? Because you're going to be like, he's a baby. I can't sit in here while he's bleeding out. So, we have to think about all the factors. And that's why I say we have to wait till all the evidence comes out. Like this is a long way from trial. At the trial, all the evidence will be present, but we cannot let media pull us to and fro because they do this every fucking time. It's like we're running on hamster's wheels. Aren't you tired? Right? Aren't you tired? So I am going to wait for all the evidence. But again, there was a woman. She didn't want to release her name. Guessing she's white. She was like, there was blood all over the porch. 911 told me stay in the house. I couldn't stay anymore. I went out, tried to help him with towels until the ambulance came. She said that he was alert and he was talking and he was saying that he plays instruments and he was supposed to pick up his little brothers. And she said he was alert and he was strong. So someone was out there with him. Do not let them make you think that this little boy was bleeding out by himself and everybody was behind closed doors. So these are little nuggets that they don't tell us. That does not take away that this man should be in jail because you can't just shoot through doors. Another thing I want to talk about is the aunt of the little boy. She's emotional, absolutely understandable, but she's, on social media and she's asking for everybody to basically, tear this motherfucker up. And I'm paraphrasing, but she's like, I need all hands on deck for this. Understandable. But again, when people are emotional, they misrepresent what happened. Her first video, she's like, he opened the door, looked my nephew in the eyes and shot him twice as he bled out. And then her second video, she was like, he shot through the door. Do you see what happens? So which is it? Are we getting the Shakespearean, he opened the door and looked him in the eyes and shot him because that will incense you, right? Or did he shoot through the door some paranoid old white man? Which is it? Because that changes things in court. If he opened the door and looked him in the eyes and shot him anyway, that's different from he shot through the door. You see how it is when people are emotional and the shock of it, then people just start saying anything, right? Well, if the man was black and the kid was white, he would have been arrested. I don't know. I know 3 cases off top where black men were let go after killing white people. Okay, I was just watching Discovery ID the other day. This black man was on a raping spree. White women. Okay, got locked up, let out, got locked up, let out, and then killed his last girlfriend who was white. And now the family's trying to sue because the family is like, they should have did more. They should have did more. They let this dude walk up until he killed his white girlfriend. So we can't always say, well, what if he was black and he was white? We don't know, right? Because it didn't happen that way. But I want to pass the mic. OG or No Saint, what say you after that, hearing more of that information?
Yeah, I would definitely say that is the norm, to speculate some form of racism in these incidents. But again, like you said, Jen, let's not put the cart, what is it, the horse before the cart, right? So to speak, until all evidence come out, it is concrete evidence, and the media will hype it up, just like you said. The auntie's emotional, but she wasn't there, so she could be hyping up something to a certain extent, and then of course the media is going to hype it up. Now, I absolutely am glad that he was arrested immediately, as he should be, because period, if you shoot somebody, you need to go through the proper channels of law, and they have to prove, your innocence in it, or you were afraid and you thought this person was going to break in your house, or whatever the situation was. But the thing is, that the young man survived, so he'll get to tell his side. If he was talking to her while he was shot, now was he shot twice?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And to survive that and still be coherent and talking, I cannot wait to hear his side of the story.
That's going to be huge.
So I'm willing to wait it out, evidence his side, the old man's side, and then the truth. Is some truth, it probably in between, a little bit of both of that, right? So
Right.
just trying to let law enforcement and the justice system, which is always sometimes one-sided, to hopefully take on this case and do its due diligence correctly with through the proper channels of getting to the bottom of what really happened.
What Front Street says, what makes you think you get shot in the head, and tell us a clear story? Well, we don't hear, again, evidence. We don't know the gravity of his injuries, but he is home. So we don't know if it was a graze. We don't know, but he's home, and he's home pretty quickly.
Yeah, if it was a serious head injury, he wouldn't be home. I mean, he would be on life support, or he'd be in a coma. I mean, I'm not saying every head injury could be serious, but I'm saying he wouldn't be home so fast, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was home pretty fast. I would have been, listen, if it was my baby, I would have been like, no, we doing a week in this bitch. This is serious. I would be like, no, we ain't going nowhere. We right here, no. So I was surprised that they took him home so early. I was like, why'd you take him home so early? Like, I would have, you know what I mean? If you're trying to make it look worse, I would have been like, no, we laying up right here. I'm getting comfortable. Give me a sandwich.
Well, maybe the injuries was not as bad, obviously, or more superficial. Could have been a glaze. I believe, it could not be that bad of a damage. Head injuries are serious, depending on somebody, if he got glazed by the bullet, it's absolutely possible is the reason why he's home now. But if it had did more damage, I'm pretty sure they would have kept him. So, and he's young and he's vital, right? So that probably play a part as well. I really want the full totality of this investigation, and hopefully nobody screws up, nobody messes up evidence, nobody falsifies something. I really would like, before I make the judgment of the racism thing, I really want to and hope that things play out properly with this investigation the way it should.
Okay, welcome Front Street. You out there in Kansas City right now. Are you familiar with that area? Hi.
Not so much. I'm a little bit outside of the city, but I want to say one thing, man. Like, like anybody that's ever.
Did he just freeze?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, you just froze, darling. Give it a second though, because
there he's back.
Okay, you back. Okay, you back. You back. Yep.
All right. So I mean, even if you've been into a small fight and you've been punched in the head, you don't know if today's tomorrow. You gotta, if you've seen a fight or like a concussion protocol for the NFL, they ask you like, who's.
Oh damn.
I think he having internet issues, reception issues.
You on that Kansas City Wi-Fi?
even if you get grazed in the head with a bullet, you got to imagine that's like at least some kind of pressure to brain. We're not saying like I don't even know if it was a headshot or whatever yet. We don't know all the injuries, like you said, but even a graze, it can cause a concussion. But being said,
oh damn!
Concussion. What's to say the story's going to be accurate? You know what I mean?
Right.
He might not remember nothing that happened that day until like next year or something. Until he goes through and processes all the shit that actually happened to him. You know what I mean? You got to understand, this kid just not only he could have had a concussion which totally fucking fragmented his brain. Sorry, my apologies. Not only that, but he's also going through a traumatic issue. That's PTSD on top of that. Who's to say that his first statement is going to be accurate to what happened? We don't know. And with that being said, I have children that are mixed. You know what I mean? And I would hate one of my kids to go up to any door, I don't care whose door it is, and to be shot in the head just because they're ringing the wrong goddamn doorbell.
No, we agree. Yeah, we agree with that 110%. We agree with that.
No matter who he is, what his race, or what his alliance is, that needs to be prosecuted. He needs to be held accountable. It's horrible. It's horrible what he did to this young child. And this guy's a child, man. This kid's a child. He was 16 years old. He was sent there to pick up his siblings. He wasn't sent to this guy's house to torment him. You know what I mean? Even if somebody comes to my house knocking on my door a couple of times, look, we've all been bothered by Jehovah's Witnesses. We've all been bothered by that want to solicit. That don't give us the right to pick up our pistols, which in Kansas, I don't know if this is in Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri, but in Kansas it's open carry. I can't have my pistol out here. I can do what I want. You know what I mean? And that doesn't give me the right to pull my pistol on just anybody.
Right.
I don't care if you're coming to my door. I don't care if you're coming to my door and you're bothering me in the middle of the night. If I'm so old and I'm so scared, like that man, like you said, Jen, then they should have been doing welfare checks on him, and he shouldn't have a gun.
I agree. Now, do you know if there's Kansas City? Is it stand your ground? Don't they have stand your ground?
In Kansas, Kansas City split up into 2 states. So Kansas City split into Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. In Kansas, we got more gun laws. I couldn't really tell you about Missouri because I'm not on that side of the river, but I will find out, and I will let you know. I'll keep you appraised to it.
Okay, thank you. And just for the record, we agree with everything you said. I don't think that at 85 years old, I don't think, this is America. Everybody got a gun, right? Everybody got a gun. But I think it's the same as, a driver's license. Like they don't let certain old people drive because you don't have all your faculties. So you should not have a weapon, a deadly weapon. But as this goes on, more evidence will come out. There's an 85-year-old man. Someone was knocking on his door at 10 o'clock at night, and he has a weapon. That's a lethal combination. That's the perfect storm.
Well, I think if Kansas is an open carry, I think I heard the guy say this. I'm in Arizona, and it's open carry as well. And I think that an old man that probably lives alone is so afraid that he feel the need to have the weapon to so-called, to protect itself, right? So I'm not sure if it's a right of ours to say that he should not have a gun to protect himself, especially in the open carry
I'm not saying,
city.
not saying that he shouldn't have that right. I'm saying that just like what Jen was saying, whenever you turn a certain age and your faculties start to go, just like you have to get tested every 5 years for a driver's license to make sure that you still got the right means to be able to move that car around, you should also have to go in. If you're a gun owner, a registered gun owner, you know what I mean? It would be responsible of this person to go in and to be made sure that he still has the faculties to be able to do what he's supposed to do with that pistol. If not, he's a danger to himself and to his community.
I get your point, but again, the rules are a little bit different in an open carry state, right? Because with the open carry, there's a lot of people walking around with guns that shouldn't have it. So are we going to say, hold on? Let me finish my point. So are we going to say, because listen, there are some people that's undocumented, mentally ill. They got weapons. So if nobody running proper checks on people in open carry states, there's a lot of people walking around with weapons, with guns that shouldn't have them. So I'm not sure that it will be, and because of that, I'm not sure if it'll be the correct thing to say she shouldn't have one. Now I agree. Now if you're gonna have these type of open carry states, I agree that elderly should get some type of testing at some point in time, as is the mentally ill, because we see what's happening when a lot of mentally ill children or students or teenagers or adults is going and shooting up the place in various places, right? And most of the states where this is happening is not open carry states.
That's a fact.
I think everybody's making good points. There's a lot of stuff we need to learn. We don't know if he's lost his memory of that night. We'll find out. But what I will say is this, to Jen's point about the media. So this makes the news and is constantly being covered. Now there was, I think 4 people got killed in Alabama at a birthday party. They were all 16, 15, 16-year-olds. And I found out over YouTube, over Agenda Free TV, which isn't a news outlet. It's a guy that reports. It finally made the news, I think, the next day. And this is a mass shooting. And it was all black. It was black people that died, a black person that perpetrated. But you got to think, why is that not big news? For Jen saying it's not a race. It's where sad to say, we're kind of used to seeing those stories, especially if you live anywhere near a city that's more populated by black people. Happens all the time. Now, if that would have been a white party, I think it would have been the news immediately. But it was like quiet. It was crazy how quiet it was.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, the media hypes it up differently for white people than they do for black people and people of color. When certain situations go down and certain crimes are committed, it gets kind of lost in translation with black people and people of color. It's not as much in the news and the mass media as if it was someone of Caucasian persuasion.
Well, not just that, but real quick, I want to say though, but just think about that. You had 4 young black people die at a birthday party, more injured. I think like 12 injured.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, look it up. It's in Alabama, small town, Alabama. And yet, this guy who thankfully is going to live, one black 16-year-old got shot by a white guy, and that's going to dominate it because it's got that race. It's got that race thing in it, so it's going to sell. It's going to sell. You know what I mean?
The reason why it's going to dominate the news is because it pushes the agenda for fucking gun control. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I really don't, because you could say the same thing about the
You could, but the people that want gun control, they don't care about that. Okay, how do I do this? It's easier to push a narrative of gun control when it's a white person being hurt. How about that?
Yeah, okay, but again, I understand.
No.
You're right. You're right.
Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. It's easier to push the agenda of gun control when a white person's being hurt. Are we all agreeing, right?
Yeah.
And we're not talking about it.
I agree with that.
Hear me out, though. Now, it's easier to push an agenda when there's a white person involved also. Right or wrong?
When what's involved?
Right.
Wait,
when there's
what?
a white person involved.
Oh.
When there's an old white male involved. It's easier to push the gun agenda. Right? Because
I'm not sure.
These guys, the guys that are pushing the gun agenda, they don't care about everybody in the fucking hood shooting each other. They don't care about that. That's sad to say.
No,
they don't really care.
I would go with you on that.
You know what I mean? And because they don't care about that, it's because it's not easily that narrative doesn't fit easily with what entails when people get shot up in the hood. But I could push my gun agenda when there's some kid getting shot in a good neighborhood, or when it's going down in the Diamond District, or when it's going down, you know what I mean, in some place where it shouldn't be.
But that's why I don't.
This is a bigger story.
Right, but that's why I don't let media make me emotional, because there is an agenda, and not just gun control, but race. Black versus white specifically is a big sell,
yes.
Right? Latins are killed. They're the second most killed unarmed by police. You're not going to hear a thing about it. Black and white sells. What sells in this country the most is black versus white, or white versus black, and plane crashes. Did you guys know that? Those are the big media stories. Like, they can take a plane crash and just recycle that for weeks and weeks and weeks, because it affects people. Everybody's traveling. Oh my God, I'm going to die in a plane crash, right? The same thing with race. Right. The same thing, black versus white. So not only gun control, but race is a big sell. But speaking of race, what do you think about when people say, there's an uproar in this case, right? This life could have been taken, and some black boys have been taken from us by white people. Luckily, Ralph he survived. But what do you say when people are like, why aren't people making, why isn't this uproar when black kids are killing each other? Because let me tell you, whether we like it or not, that's the retort. That's why a lot of people don't care. They're like, well, where's Black Lives Matters when all these, black people are killing each other in Chicago or in New York? And that's what people say. That's what Candace Owens is going to say. But are they wrong? Why isn't Ben Crump in the middle of Chicago, or the Bronx, New York, or Detroit?
Well, I can answer that. We know that the cases that people like Ben Crump are on is multi-million-dollar cases, right? So if it is not beneficial for him to take on this case for maybe police brutality or something racially motivated, he's not that attorney that's going to come to the rescue. He's not that attorney that's going to say, I'm going to, go to bat to help families fight when a black person kill another black person. He's not that guy. If you look, every time he's in the media, it's big cases that is multi-million, which can generate multi-million-dollar lawsuits. Those are the ones that he chases.
Mm-hmm. No, saying.
No. I mean, I think we all know, like, she's got a great point, but it's all about what is sensational. My point was not that before was not that it was a black kid shooting up a party. It was that 4 people died and 12 people were injured, and yet the focus is on this white guy that could have killed this black young man. You know what I mean? And you're right, it's going to sell. I mean, these things, we only see a fraction of these stories, and it's only the ones that are going to get eyeballs on the TV, which is sad, but true. And you know, I think it's all because of obviously it's an obvious answer. It's the history we have in this country of race anyway. So that's why it's so sensationalized. That's why it's always going to be something that, you know, it's going to be like a team tribe mentality. And what Front Street was saying, I kind of disagree with him when he's talking about a white guy shooting a black kid is going to drive gun control, because everybody I know who's pro guns are always like when Trayvon Martin, they're always siding with the person with the gun. You know what I mean? Especially the white guys. It doesn't matter. So that's not going to push it. It's not going to push gun control if it's a white guy or anybody shooting up. It doesn't matter who they're shooting up. They don't want to have any laws that are going to restrict anything. And that's the NRA. And but with this open carry, all these open carry states, all these, these things are going to happen. Like whether he's 85 or not, the guy I'm thinking about up in Michigan wasn't an old guy, and he shot somebody through the screen door. And I really want to look it up, and maybe I'll send it to you, because it happened when I was in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Kind of similar. She was looking for help, knocked on the guy's door and got shot.
But honestly, though, if you look up the statistics, most of these type of crimes or these type of shootings happen in states that have tighter gun laws. If you look up the data and the statistics on that, it normally happens with the states that have the tightest gun laws.
I mean, I'd have to look up those statistics, and I'm not sure if you're saying the mass shootings, because I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. Because I mean,
well, I'm speaking shootings. Yeah, I'm speaking shootings in general, mass shootings to whatever, black on black, white on white, Hispanic on Hispanic. They usually those type of shootings and crime happen in the states that have the tightest gun laws. Is all I'm saying.
That's very true. I mean, that's very true. When you look at New York City, when you look at, you don't think so? No, Saint?
No, I'm thinking that New York City has, a huge population compared to like these southern towns and these southern, these places that, well, in southern it's wide open, but I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look in. I mean, there's always.
But the laws are tight, though. The point is the laws are tight.
I could throw out there that Canada has tight gun laws and look at their numbers. I mean, it's just a bad. I think you got to look at a lot more than just pure numbers, because that just doesn't fly when you go around the world with the different countries that have tight gun laws, and they don't have near the problem we have here. But I also don't know if it's just the gun. We've talked about this before. It could be a lot of things contributing to that in this society. We've got a lot of things that could be contributing to unhappiness and, the feel that you want to go take people out. It might not just be weapons. It could be just our mental state in this country. So I'm not blaming the gun necessarily, but I also don't buy that if you have tighter gun laws, it means you're going to have more shootings. I don't know.
It's funny. Of course, this is simplifying the case, but I really do think this is what it is. Shiali says that old man was sleeping, got angry, someone banging on the door at night and started blasting, "Get off my yard."
I saw that, made me laugh.
Okay. It's like, that's simplifying it, of course, but I really think it's more of that than anything else. 10 o'clock at night, 85 years old, paranoid, maybe racist, and if not racist, at the very least, feels a certain way, okay, about the coloreds, right? You 85 years old, so you've been through decades of watching the propaganda, right? So, I wouldn't be surprised if he was just like, get off my damn lawn. And I mean, he shot through the damn door. If that isn't crazy, I mean, he was so scared, he shot through the damn door.
Okay,
he was like, fuck my door. He was like, fuck the glass and fuck my door.
So the question will be, did he look out a peephole or have a security system where he possibly saw that it was a black man or kid in the dark that, and it made him, you know what I mean? Or, because now that you're saying that, it makes me think about, did he look through a peephole? Did he have security with a camera in his house that shows the outside, shows who's at his door? And he decided to do that. That's also a question that would come into play with such a case as this as well.
Absolutely. So JB said the kid was tugging on the door handle. Hopefully people will have Ring cameras or some kind of cameras, maybe across the street or next door. But I don't, the evidence will show. We're just going by what the information people are giving us, but the evidence will show. However, if he was tugging on the door, that's another factor. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
which is not far fetched. Which is not far fetched because he's like, "Hello, open the door. I'm here to get
my brother's here, whatever." Yeah.
Yeah, like hello. I mean, you know what I mean. So that to me, this was the perfect storm. But OG, you brought up a good point. 85-year-old man. It's dark outside. Was there a light on the porch? Did he even look out a peephole?
Exactly.
The boy is brown skin. Was he able to see him clearly? Could he see at all? Does he wear glasses? What's his eyesight like? Right? Is there a light on the door? Was he tugging at the door? Because that you don't even have to look through a peephole. If somebody's tugging at my door, guess what? I'm in Nevada. Be careful, right?
And security, and again, like I really do hope he have security cameras, because that would tell a tale. Because it would show if the young man was pulling on the door, was he knocking hard, bamming, was he saying anything? How was his stance, body movements, and things of that nature? So I really kind of do hope that is a security camera somewhere. Or, but yeah, that definitely comes into play when it comes to, usually anybody has a peephole on their door. So you can peek through that peephole to see who it is before you even answer it.
I listen. I know people listen, and justice isn't always the way you want things to turn out. If it doesn't turn out your way, that means it's not justice, right? I don't know what the laws are in Kansas or Kansas City or whatever. I don't know what they're going to have to prove. But this is what I will say. If he's able to slip through because of loose gun rate or loose laws about how you can protect yourself, things need to change in that front. Because to me, I don't see any excuse. I don't know. I wasn't in the man's situation. But what I'm thinking is every time I go to the door, I look through and I ask who it is. Even at night, and I'm not an 85-year-old man, but even at night, like, and there's a phone you can call 911. If he starts to break in, then blast away. By all means, blast away if he starts to break your door in. I have little sympathy or empathy for someone who that's his first go-to is shooting through a door at somebody. To me, whether he's white, black, doesn't matter. If you're shooting somebody through the door, you probably shouldn't have a gun if you don't do other steps like call the police. That's my biggest thing. Like, why do you have to shoot through the door?
Or say, who is it?
Yeah.
Simple.
Why do you have to shoot somebody through the door when he's not trying to break it? Okay, he's rattling your doorknob. Okay, well, he hasn't broken in. He's not pounding through. No. But you're a woman, I get it. But I'm saying he's not yet I'm not saying, Jen, that you don't bring your gun out when he's rattling on the door. I'm not saying
right.
But I'm saying rattling the doorknob and actually breaking in is a step to doing that, right? And you'll know if he's trying to bust your door in, or she, or whoever is trying to bust your door. And that's my thing, is you don't start blasting. At least attempt to be. And then if he's breaking in, attempt to call the cops and say, oh, shoot, he's busted, or she's busting the door down. And then bam, then by all means, protect yourself. I just have I don't have much sympathy for what happens to this person. I just don't know how the laws are written and how much wiggle room he's got to get out of this. He was standing his ground, or, that's why those laws to me are messed up, man. Because stand your ground, I feel threatened. I mean, it's coming right at me. The old South Park episode. They're coming right at me. Bam, bam, bam.
I don't. I don't have any sympathy for him either. I mean, who cares what happens to that man? I really don't. That may sound cold, but I don't give a damn what happens to an 85-year-old white man in the middle. I don't give a damn.
He had a good life.
But with that said, again, devil's advocate, you may have all your faculties to go downstairs and think nothing's ever going to happen and no saint, and you got time to look through the peek hole and see. Who says this man looked through the peek hole? Maybe he just came up with his hard hearing. Who that at my door? Who that? And the kid is just like, I'm here to pick up such and such. And he's put, because what you're forgetting also is that man wasn't expecting anybody. That's different from this kid was expecting, right, to go get his little brothers. But if you are 85 years old, asleep in your bed, I believe he got a wife. Okay, I think I heard that. You could correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think he had a wife. 85 years old, you still got to be the protector of the house, right? You come downstairs, someone is messing with your doorknob. Sorry, as a devil's advocate, I can easily see an 85-year-old blasting through the door. Age is a factor. Now, 30 years old, I feel a little different. 40 years old, I feel a little different. Shit, 50, 60, I feel a little different. But 85-year-old man, I want to know, if I'm in the jury, I want to know what his hearing is. I need a doctor to tell me, can this man hear? I need to know what his eyesight is like. It is 10 o'clock at night in the dark. There's someone messing with your doorknob. Sorry, at 85, I don't need to know your race or your complexion. I'm shooting through the door too.
I agree. I believe that plays a big factor, especially we know when the elderly get older, they become more afraid because they're more powerless, they're more fragile, right? So I believe that there was a sense of panic, for him, to just shoot and ask questions later, basically. Mm-hmm. So I agree with that, Jen.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. That's what I'm saying. I understand the age, I understand what you're saying. That's why I'm saying, I don't know if first of all, we got to find out if he even, like you said, do we know that he even saw anybody or did he just blast through the door?
Right. That's another thing we don't know. Like I'm thinking about, we've all been around elderly people. I'm thinking about my grandma, right? When she was young, she was about it, right? As she got older, she didn't even want us opening the window. My grandmother's apartment in New York City was second story. She was on the second floor. She did not like us opening the window because she swore up and down people were going to look up, see us looking out the window and be able to scale, the bricks and come in through the window. And that's what happened as she got older. But she was a tough lady. But as she got older, she got more and more paranoid. So imagine an 85-year-old person and you messing with the doorknob. I'm sorry, I'm blasting through the door too. I'm blasting through the door. And I don't even gotta go through there's a lot of people that don't even look through their peek hole. You messing with their door knob, you getting blasted. What?
That's all people in the mafia.
What? Listen, I wasn't in the mafia, and I was taught when you answer the door, you stand on the side like this, no saint. You don't even put your body in front of the door. You answer the door like this. So in case something is about to come in, or you answer like this out of the, of the way of the door. Now imagine you 85 years old, So I'm just saying it's too early to stamp it racist. I need to know if he saw this little boy first. That is what I need to know. Yep. I need to know his eyesight, his hearing. Can he reach the peephole? Did he look out the peephole first? Or was he messing? Because remember, this little boy has to pick up his little brothers. That is his instruction. So if he thinks that's the address, he has to get into this house. He's like, where are my little brothers? My mama said, I got to pick them up. Can somebody open the door, please, so I can get my little brothers out of here? Because I got to get my little brothers back home. So he's coming in with this determination. With that said, you still can't go popping people at the door. So I understand the arrest and I understand the charge. He can't just skate. But I would not be surprised if this goes to trial and he doesn't get a life sentence.
Yeah, and also, they're gonna take into consideration his age, and they probably going to say, he's old and he's fragile and he was afraid and he panicked, and I'm sure his defense is probably going to come with those things. And in his defense, and the question is also too, for the young man's side of it, and hopefully he have all his faculties where he can remember what happened. Mm-hmm. And once he tell his side, is it going to kind of match up? And then it's kind of going to be his word against the young man, the old Absolutely. Man against the young man. So mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. But I definitely agree. Until we know full details as much as possible, we cannot always believe the hype of mass media all the time.
Yeah, because they'll get you. Thank you so much for the super chat, Don Levon. Yeah, because the media, I mean, they'll get you. Like when I see these stories now, I'm like, yeah, okay, is the little boy okay? You know what I mean? Matter of fact, speaking of, his GoFundMe is almost at $2 million.
Who's?
Ralph Yarl, the little boy that was shot. It's almost at $2 million right now. His GoFundMe.
Wow. Okay, so, he should be able to go to college. He should be straight. Wow, that's awesome.
They can move. Let me tell you, the family can move, and that little boy bets to go to college. Almost at $2 million right now.
Wow. Now, how long? When did this happen? How old is this case?
When did this? Was it on?
A couple of days ago, right? It was like last week, I think.
Yeah, it was last week. Was it chat? When exactly did this happen? Was it Friday? Was it Saturday? Yeah, it's funny because when I saw it, it was like at 100,000, and I was like, "That's so sweet." They giving him I checked, like it's almost at $2 million now.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, "Woo!"
Well, if he lives in a disenfranchised neighborhood, he'll definitely be able to move on up to the east side.
Hello, to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Right, and pay for college,
Absolutely. David Dillon says, Jen, you're right. I'm just annoyed at the slow reaction to this old man shooting him twice. The first shot, okay, but pop and kill while he was down. Jeez. Listen, old paranoid man, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, neither. I'm not either.
He's like, I kill you dead. Stay off my porch.
That's another thing too. If the second shot was, he's laying on the ground and then he's able to see the guy's not moving towards him, he's on the ground, and you shoot him again. That's another thing, That's why I said, like,
well, the prosecution is going to play that up. Why? You know what I mean? That's the other side of it. I mean, he was down, he was on the ground. Like, why'd you shoot him when he was down? Yeah. His family is middle class, is very middle class. I don't know what very middle class is, but either you're middle class or you're not. But I know his mama is a nurse. And she's taking care of him while he's home.
Awesome.
New Diamond said, well, I need an old man to shoot me. You need $2 million? You need $2 million, New Diamond? Let's everybody get shot.
LaDon, you may not be so lucky like that 16-year-old boy.
Right. You need somebody as old as Fragile to pop you, because that man obviously didn't have good aim. Thank goodness. Thank goodness he wasn't a good shot, because shooting someone in the head and then shooting them while they were down, I heard one shot was to the head, the other shot was to the arm. So it is a miracle this little boy is okay and okay enough to be home. Again, I don't know if it was a graze. I don't know what it was, but he's home, and that's the good thing. But it's almost at $2 million. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at $2 million now, because this was a couple hours ago. I saw it close to $2 million. Shiali Van Putten says, I get annoyed with Jehovah's Witness banging on my door early in the morning. I wish I had a gun. Look, let's not do that.
Jen, thank you for allowing me to come up. I have to get ready to go into a meeting, but I'm going to keep abreast of what's going on. This is going to be an interesting case and see how everything unfolds, but I'll be listening in the back chat.
All right. Thank you so much, Oji, and thank you for your opinions. Appreciate you. Good to see you, lady.
All right. Good to see you too. Good night.
Good night. All right. David Dillon says, gold-plated wheelchair ain't the move. New Diamond says, hope his family has money management skills. They better. I mean, his mama's a nurse. I mean, that's as responsible as you can get. So I think, and not only that, but they're all eyes, right? The world's eyes are on this case. So she can't fuck up that money. That little boy must. It is imperative he ends up in college. It is imperative to this story. Okay. Don Levon says, honestly, my mom would have shot through the door too if someone came to her door that late at night. Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. Even at this age, okay, I'm nowhere near 85. But no Saint, I gotta tell you, I'm in Nevada. I have gun insurance. I'm part of USCCA, okay? If you fucking with my doorknob, I may not ask who you are.
I would just hope you would. That not necessarily go to the door. No, you don't have to go to the door. Listen, we're in an age now where pretty much you can. I mean,
okay, I'll give a warning. No Saint, that's all I can tell you.
Well, your warning's good.
All I can tell you, if you touch my doorknob again, okay, I'm gonna put your mama in a black dress. Is that good enough? Is that good enough? No Saint. That's all I can promise you, though. But this jiggle at 10 o'clock at night in Nevada, yeah, this hat's gonna come on, and my gloves are gonna come.
I mean, I obviously I hope nobody needs to ever be in that position. I don't know. I just seem, and maybe it's like you said, maybe it's the news. I seem to hear a lot more stories about someone shooting somebody. I remember there was one here not too far from where I live. This happened, I don't know, late 90s probably, where the daughter snuck in the house, like she came home late or something and hid in the closet, and the dad shot her in the closet thinking it was an intruder because she was going to scare him. And listen, I'm not saying, listen, that guy's living with that, if he's still alive for the rest of his life. I'm not saying that's.
Did he kill her?
Yeah, yes. That's an honest mistake. Honest mistake. And a bad mistake, and she was immature. She didn't think about that either. Right. But what I'm saying is, and that's an honest mistake, but I'm saying I hear a lot more incidents where innocent people are getting shot because I think people are just really quick to go. If they have a gun, they're quick to go to the gun.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, suicides, person owned a gun already.
Yeah.
Right? That's just how it goes when it's in your house. But I'm like, but here's the thing, no Saint, when you are a family of gun owners, and my family is gun owners, it's like, oh, it's your birthday, here's a Glock, right? No, that's how we are, my daughter and everybody. So we already know, it is stated, do not fucking play with me like that. Do not jump out from behind the couch. Do not hide in closets. Like, that goes without saying. Let's not play these games when we all have Ghost Pro triggers on our Glocks, okay? We don't even have normal triggers on our Glocks. So you cannot play like that. And I implore families, gun owners, have that talk with your kids. It is not a toy. It is serious. You can take someone's life. And even if you're in the right, you are in a shitload of fucking problems. You are in a shitload of fucking problems, even if it's your right or you were defending yourself. It does not matter. You have to be so careful. But it goes back to what you said. Like, I go to Walmart out here in Nevada and I see Wild Bill Hickok everywhere. I mean, these motherfuckers have fucking, pistols.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 bigger than their fucking leg in the Walmart grabbing the iced tea. That's how they walk around. I'm like, is that necessary? But that's how it is in an open carry state, right? You have to be very, very careful who you argue with in open carry states. You just have to be careful. You have to be a responsible gun owner. But, this may not have the outcome that people want it to have just because of the race factor. It may not, because of this man's age and the time of night. And it may not. So people better get ready for the bullshit. People better be ready.
Saying. Just, when people say we want justice or whatever, they usually just mean they want it to go whatever way they want it. And there's could be a lot of nuances to it. You know what? I mean, listen, I forgot the guy's name now that got shot near Atlanta. and those 3 guys went to prison. The father, the son, and the neighbor.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah, and I have no problem with all 3 of them going. I mean, obviously all 3 of them, but I'm thinking to myself, man, that neighbor's got the worst one, because all he thought he was just helping
asshole.
out
asshole. That's what you take these years, you asshole.
Yeah.
He was a bigger asshole than the other 2. I'll help out.
That's not me, man. That's not me. I don't know. That's that whole, and that's that whole, we're going to patrol our neighborhood, and, and hey, they got caught. They got caught up in it, and now, hey, they can.
I just wish that George Zimmerman, that case had the same outcome, and it did not. Because I feel like the George Zimmerman case was very similar to Ahmaud Arbery. To me, it was the cameras. Same. Right. Nobody was fucking recording it. You need an idiot neighbor like the guy who was recording it. I'll help out.
Yeah. Here you go, officer. I got it all on tape.
Here's the evidence so you can prosecute us, sir.
That was the greatest part about it. I got it on tape. We got it.
Hey, Officer Billy Bob, here you go. So you can get it. Be like, we'll take that. Thank you.
But that's what you get. That's what you get when you think that you know the laws. You think that's another thing. Everybody thinks they know what their rights are, and you can get caught.
Let me tell you, my gun guy, the gun guy I recommend, his name is Carrie Trainer on Instagram. Okay, Mickey Shuch. His name is Carrie Trainer on Instagram. He is so good about guns, and he posts like crimes that happen. Somebody mentioned it earlier, the 4 guys that tried to carjack the dude in the driveway. He broke that down as well. His name is Carrie Trainer on Instagram. I actually interviewed him here on the block about mass shootings and possibly surviving mass shootings and what you can do. He's amazing, but he's a really good, responsible guy to follow. He's not one of them like, you can't take my guns. Like, he's very, very logical. He's stable. He talks about all aspects of being a gun owner and defending yourself, and not, quickly going to your gun because you have one. He breaks it down very, very nicely. I love following him and his breakdowns about things like that. Because he's not one of those gun happy guys, though. He's very, very well armed and well trained. Just very responsible. And I like listening to people like that. David Dillon says, so glad he seemed to be a good kid. Just imagine if he was Lil Ray Ray in and out of trouble, different convo. Please. I mean, it would have been, his picture would have been like this right now on CNN.
Right. Right.
The picture would be like, get boo. Like, oh yeah, they would have dragged them. Yeah. Don Levant says, oh yeah. Don Levant says,
go ahead.
Oh, they would have had a field day. They would be like, Lil Ray Ray would have been like this. I'd get you, all his pictures and shit. Don Lamont says it depends on how aggressively you shake that door handle. Too aggressive, I'm blasting. I mean, I'm telling you, this shit is crazy out here. People are busting in your house. There's freaking robberies going on. It's, it's either me or you. It's gonna be you. Oh, that shit is funny. JB is hilarious. Exactly. It's going to be some slow singing and flower bringing in my doorknob starts jiggling. Don't you love my chat? Don't you just love my chat? Yeah, absolutely. He was charged. Today. Serious charges too, by the way. Serious charges on the old guy. David Dillon says, they are going to bring up the go-to Cosby trial if they don't convict, talking about Cos was 97. Or they're going to bring up everything. I mean, this type of case is the case. It's the gift that keeps on giving. This type of case here,
97. Who's he talking about? Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby was 97 when he was
97.
When he was arrested, he was in 97. How old is that fool?
He would be like 100 years old right now. He's probably in his 80s.
He's so gross. Thank you for the super chat, Dwayne Rhodes. The talent show was amazing. We're going to do it again next Saturday. E Scrabble says 3 things you need to know in an active shooter situation: run, hide, fight.
Well, I was thinking about what you were saying. And I don't see it a lot over here, but there is the person that will carry the gun on his hip. Probably not as much as they do in Nevada, because I don't see it all the time. But my whole thing is like, what is that doing? I mean, what is that deterring? Because if I'm a criminal and I'm coming in, the first person I'm taking out is the guy with the gun on his hip. He's not going to have a chance to get that off his hip. He'll be done before he gets that off his hip. You know, so it's kind of weird to me. Like, you're showing your hand. I would much rather be in a concealed carry where they don't know if you have a gun.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. And I have holsters, but I don't want to be running around like, hey, because you're right. It's like, but they feel like it's kind of like beware of dog sign, right?
I think it's a virtue signal.
Really?
Like, I think, nobody's taking like NRA, right wing.
Yeah, I mean,
taking my gun.
No, you see it all over Nevada. They wear like jewelry. Like it's like, I mean, I've seen the biggest guns on hips in Walmart. I'm like, dude, you know what I mean? But I think it's, I think they do it as an intimidation tactic or kind of like a warning. You know what I mean? I'd rather be concealed. I'm good. You got it, homie. Tough guy. You got it.
I don't know what it is to live in a world where you're scared of everybody, but maybe that's going to be what takes me out eventually. I'm just not scared. I don't go out thinking it could happen. I realize that it can happen, but I'm not sure if it does happen. I guess if you want to feel better about having a gun on you, maybe you'll have a chance. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about just being out on the street. I don't know if you're gonna have a chance. You might not have a chance too. I mean, you better yank it as soon as something's going down.
I mean but that's why you have to train.
Yeah,
right? That's why you have to train.
Because people will come up behind you to stick you in the ribs. You don't have a chance to grab. You're gonna get. I don't know. But I don't live in a world. And listen, New Orleans right now is worse than New York when it comes to crime right now. It's just smaller scale, so we don't have as much, but New York is huge. Carjackings and everything. I went to New Orleans the other day. I don't know. I don't run around scared. I mean, it can happen. Let's hope it doesn't after I said this. I don't want to have a eulogy on here. Yeah,
I know. I'd be like, no, Say was so innocent. He should have had a gun. Why did you give him a gun? Haran. Chiali Van Put, it says Star Report say he don't tussle with this teen. He would blast, respect the shooter. Yeah, Star's not.
Say that.
Yeah, Star's not playing with anybody. But I don't know if I don't carry because I'm afraid. I carry for protection. I mean, even getting in a lift, the shit that happens to women getting in Lyft and Uber.
A woman's different. Yeah, I can do
I'm like, your brains are gonna be on the windshield. Let your mama worry about it. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's like, you're not gonna take me from here to any other place than where I'm going, sir. That's where you're taking me. So it's better. I think we live by the I'd rather have it.
Yeah, not need it. Yeah, and then not
and
not have it. Yeah.
Right, but it's not a thing. I would never. I don't do the Wild Bill Hickok. I don't. I'm gonna look at me. I'm like, I'd rather people not know. Right, that way you can slide in and out of situations. I'd rather people not know. I'm not the. Not the. Let's see. We have somebody backstage. Let's see what he has to say before we close. This is true, Scrabble. The scary part is that the scared person will shoot you every fucking time.
Yeah.
Every time. The scared person will shoot you. I know people that are no longer with us because they scared people and was not good. What's up, Chunks? What say you?
Oh, I just wanted to say what up. I am a real person. On your stream is Dwayne Rhodes. So I just want to say
what's up? What's up?
Please. So I just want to say hello, y'all. Love your content, and I'll catch y'all later. All right?
All right. Thank you. Good. So now when I see peace. So when I see his name backstage, I'll know to pull him up. Thank you for being a real person.
What did he say? He's in the chat, and what did he say? He said his name. Is that what he said?
It's Dwayne Rhodes. You see the blue super chat? Yeah.
Oh,
But I go by chunks, though. I go by chunks.
Oh, you
But
go by Chunks. Okay, so when you up here, we'll call you Chunks.
yeah. But I love y'all show and keep doing your thing, y'all.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
so,
you. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, man. No, for real. The scary part is the scary person will shoot you. It's funny. I think there are two different type of gun owners. There's the people that are, it's like, it grows their dick to knee length, and then
right.
and then there are the other people that are just like, yo no sé, no hablo inglés, right? I'm the latter. I'm super calm when I'm carrying because I know it can happen.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Be very, very calm and aware, hyper aware of everything.
And that's the problem. Like, you're right. Like, there are people that, and that's why when people say, oh, you want gun laws or stricter gun laws, I'm like, well, I just don't think everybody should have a gun. I don't, because what you're saying, there's the same people that, I mean, everybody has some road rage once in a while, but to say, like, the people that are going crazy because you took your spot in front of them, that they didn't like it. They wanted to make sure that you know what I'm saying? It's like there's too many irrational people. Too many irrational people. I don't know but I really don't know how you manage that when it comes to guns, because it's almost an impossibility. The person could be law abiding their whole life, and then one day they're not. One day they go in and shoot up the office. So there's really no easy answers. But I'd much rather a gun owner be what you're saying you are, which is, I'm not going to use it unless I absolutely
not even in an argument. That's another, not even in an argument. And
right.
I've been carrying I've been carrying illegally in New York since I was 15, 16 years old. And then in Nevada, thank goodness, I'm carrying legally. Finally, I'm trained, I'm insured. But even in New York at 16 years old, when I was hanging out with the girlfriends or whatever, and I'd get an argument with guys or with other girls, they'd be like, Jen, you gonna pull out? And I'm like, no, motherfucker, I ain't going to prison. Like, I'm not gonna, unless my life is in danger. You don't just be pulling out. It's like, now people know you have a gun. Like, no, you don't. That's not how guns go. Even at a very young age, I knew that. You don't just pull out because you're having an argument or losing an argument. Like, you just don't. Your life has to be in danger. And this was me at 16, 17. Now, did me and my brother shoot at rats out the window and shoot? Yeah. Perhaps. Right? In the middle of the night, there are a lot of rats in New York City. Perhaps, right? But, that was about it. Haran DeMarco says, I ain't revealing a gun for show or to scare anyone, hence why it should be a final resort. I agree 100%. Pops is fucked. That, at 85 years old, his life is turned upside down. He's going to go through hell now. But, those are the breaks.
It's really only a fraction of his life. He doesn't have too much to go. Come on.
No, say that's fucked up. Like, you finally get to this age and ready to die comfortably. Now you caught a charge.
I know, but it's not like, they give him 30 years. He's not going to see much of that.
Damn, you're going to spend the rest of, but again, it may not be the outcome people want.
Yeah.
He may not get time.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I really do look at trials, and when I'm watching them, when I'm paying attention to them on TV, and I listen, and I'm like I knew that Rittenhouse kid in was it Wisconsin?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, I knew he was getting off. I was listening on what the laws were. I watched the trial. I'm like, the laws are messed up, but he's gonna get off of this. He didn't do anything according to the law. He was in his right,
Right.
So I don't know what the laws are in this state, and I'd have to see. But we'll see.
We're about to find out. David Dillon said, was there a particular incident that made either of you heat carriers? No, it's generational with me. Like, my dad had guns, and then it's like, it was generational with me. It was no one incident. No Saint, you don't carry, right?
No,
do you carry?
No.
Yeah, No Saint don't carry. Yeah, it was no particular incident. My dad did.
I mean, I was looking into buying a gun, And I still may eventually, but with the kids in it, I never went out with the kids in the house. That was one thing I was never going to do. Just
but I bet you're gonna be an 85-year-old man with your gun. Who at my door? Who that? I didn't order no pizza. You gonna die, boy. Bang, 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 bang.
I'm tired of Medicare. I want some real medical insurance. I'm going to jail.
Yeah, them fucked with the wrong one. Get off my lawn.
Man.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really, I'm seriously looking forward, logically, to see how this unfolds. I'm not falling for the race baiting at all.
No.
Especially seeing this old guy. Oh, by the way, it's funny. I saw his picture. He's 85. He looks 85, but his hair is completely black. Like he got the dye going.
Oh my God.
You have to see the picture. No Saint. Google the picture. I was like, this old man dyeing his hair black. What you doing, Pops?
Oh man, it's the worst when you're working with people and they come in and their hair is totally different because they dyed it. Oh my God.
Come on, dude. And I'm like, see, now as a juror, I'm sorry, I'm petty. I would be like, oh, so but you have all faculties enough to know your hair is gray and you should dye it black. I'm petty, no Saint.
Now, is this lawyer? I'd be saying he doesn't have the faculty to realize that that's going to look ridiculous.
Listen, as a juror, I'd be fucking taking notes like, oh, you have the wherewithal to dye your damn hair, huh, fucker? And it's funny because his face is like, looks 85. He looks like the average 85-year-old. Wow, get off my lawn. But I'm like, where does the black hair come in? Like, what are you doing, Pops? Like, it's just, he should have left. It would have been great if his hair was totally gray, make him look worse and fragile. I guarantee by the time it gets to trial, he'll be fully gray. He will be, I guarantee, you heard me say it, by trial time, he's going to be fully gray. Right now, he's like, oh yeah, with the tennis balls at the bottom. For sure. They're going to be wheeling him and he's going to be like, wait a minute. But the hair I found a little peculiar. I was like, okay, Pops is still dyeing his hair black. But, SB says, the aunt stated what refused to say. He came out of his house to shoot him a second time. I'm respectfully, I'm not listening to the aunt. She wasn't there. I want to
say something to what she said too. Mm-hmm. Listen, I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about that. If they're not going to charge Trump with inciting a riot, I don't know how they can't charge this lady. But you got to watch what you say. Like, if you're calling people to riot and people's property gets damaged, I think there's some liability there, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And that's why I even think that, remember what I was saying about these people online who incite other people to do shit. I think there should be repercussions.
Yeah.
If you can gather a crowd of people to move a certain way and damage things or dox people or what have you, I think you should be charged with something. I think Trump should be charged. And I think it should be against the law, to go on TV and say, I need all hands on deck.
Right.
You asking me what I need. I need everybody to blah, blah, blah. No, I don't know. You can't. I don't care how emotional you are. We live in America. And unfortunately, you have to wait for the judicial system to do its fucking thing. You have, as much as we hate, as much as it pains us, as much as we're gonna listen to his defense attorney, make him the most innocent old grandpa on the planet. That is the system we live in. Plus, none of you are willing to die for that boy. So calm down. Right? That's why George Zimmerman is still running around, because no one's willing to die for the justice they're crying for. None of you are willing to die for it. That's why George Zimmerman is at Target right now eating a bag of Skittles, because no one is willing to really put their life on the line to get justice. Nobody is. So it's like, why incite riots? Why send other people in there to do your bidding when you're not going to get an attorney for them, when you're not going to bail them out of prison? It's just like Trump. He sent all them people in there. How many did he bail out?
Right.
Did he pay for the funeral for the bitch that got shot in the chest? Trying to be Superwoman? I'll get there. Trump said you're still. She gets shot and fucking dies. Did Trump pay for her funeral? So I really do think, I agree with you, No Saint, people should be held responsible if they incite a riot or just one person to do some wild shit. And you can backtrack and say you did that because of who? Yes, I agree with you.
And even to the point where, like, I don't know if it was live, okay? I don't know if they did that live, but man, the news needs to be more responsible. And you can edit that out. You don't have to show that, right? So if it was live, it's one thing. You can't stop it. But if that's, you got to think about that too. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm like you. I'm so tired of the manipulation that they do with us, when it comes to the news. It's just, and I'm like you again. I'm like, it's to the point where, I mean, I think everybody lets their guard down sometimes when they're watching stuff for information. Like, you don't automatically think, oh, I'm getting, you don't automatically always think, oh, listen to this slant type thing, but yeah, I'm a lot more in tune to what things are being said and how I might not be and this happened to me over time. I was in Afghanistan. I knew something had happened, and the way they said it over the news, I knew wasn't right. So I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I was like, oh, that's not what happened. So
wow.
And then even to the defense of Trump. Because
did you say defense and Trump in the same sentence?
Yeah. Even to his defense, I've said this to people that were Trump supporters that you gotta. I said, listen, I even know, like, when you're watching some of these channels, that you got to realize you're being sold. Like, when they said that Trump said that when the whole thing took place in Virginia, I think it was, and he said, oh, there were good, they had the skinheads or whatever.
There were some good people there too.
There were good people on both sides, right? That's what you saw. I saw the whole clip. I think it was on C-SPAN. And then I didn't realize, I'm like, those son of a bitches. Because he said there's good people on both sides. And I'm not talking about the white supremacists. He actually said that. Like, I'm not talking about the white supremacists. I'm not talking about them. I mean, that was a different spin on it. Not saying, I mean, he was still trying to, but I'm sitting there and thinking to myself, wow, they cut that out of that. They made that totally sound like, I still think he's a racist.
Right. But that's what they do. And it's funny, I was telling Haran earlier, there are bajillions of them, but there was a video recently posted of a woman, and these stories are on a loop, right? There's a video of a woman, a white lady who called a black woman a nigger. I think it was in a Target or whatever. And the woman goes after her. So they post this on, on the black blogs, and then everybody in the comments goes crazy. And I sent it to Haran, and I said, peep what the machines are doing. Like, look past the nigger shit. Who gives a fuck at this point about that, right? The N-word, the infamous N-word, right? Look past that. Do you notice that these blogs cycle this N-word thing on a continuum? Do you not see what's happening? Again, No Saint, I'm on the plane. There's a monster on the wing. Do you not see they're bringing us down? Fucking look at the monster on the wing. He's going to bring the plane down. No one can see it. And you feel like you're the only one that sees it. But I'm looking at the most popular blogs, like specifically the black blogs are just as bad as Fox News, are just as bad as CNN, are just as bad. Like, there's Hollywood Unlocked, and there's the Shade Room, and they recycle these N-word. Look at this lady called the N-word, and it just keeps people incensed for 300, 400, 500 thousands of comments. And I'm like, you don't even see that you're being played over and over and over again. Because when you think about it, what is the outcome of you being in these comment sections for hours at a time discussing some random white bitch at Walmart?
Right.
Like, what is the outcome? What are you getting? Are there bills being passed? Are there new laws being passed? Or are you just feeding the machine for hours? This machine that's making billions of dollars and now charging you to be here. And it's not even a conspiracy. Do you not fucking see these stories are on a loop? They're on a loop.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy to me, but this is the media. And let me tell you something. And Black people, I was telling Haran earlier, now Black bloggers and Black content creators, now they're picking the meat off the bones of what white media was doing, right? White media incenses us about race, right?
Yeah.
Now the Black blogs, of course, they're smaller than, let's say, a CNN and a Fox, but that doesn't stop them from picking the meat off the bones. They're like, oh shit, let's throw in some race shit too, because we see that's what gets people clicking and talking. So they're vultures, but it's the same two-headed snake. It's just one is Black and one is white. Black people see that it's lucrative to talk about race, right?
It is.
But they're not talking about like, let's pass a bill, let's pass a law. They're just like, oh, Karen said the N-word at Walmart. She said what? Yeah, that's right. Fuck that bitch up. And then what's the outcome other than you being on Instagram and Facebook for 3 hours arguing with someone who disagrees with you? I'm like, can you see the fucking monster on the plane is taking us down? We're going down.
No, you're right. It's horrible. And what news does with what media in general does with all of this stuff is it makes you feel like this stuff is everywhere. And I'm not saying there's a lot of racism, but I'm saying it takes it and it puts a face on it, right? If it's racism or if it's the shooting, everybody's there. It's everybody's neighbor. When as bad as all these things are, it's not as big as what they make it. And I guess I'm trying to explain it. Not that it's not important, but it's just not. It's not. Most people aren't going to run into that on a daily basis.
No, I absolutely agree with you. When I look at these stories, right, about the haves and the have-nots and how terrible it is and the systemic, and then I'm following men, I was telling Haran this earlier as well. I'm following Black men specifically. I mean, attorneys, doctors, restaurateurs, entrepreneurs, and they're raising their families and they're married and they're raising their boys and they're posting videos of their boys off to college. And I'm like, that, I don't know. That's my network. Those are the people I follow on Instagram. So when someone sends me a video of, look at this Karen, she said, at Walmart. I'm like, that's not my world. This is not my world. Like, you guys, you can loop it all you like, but it's not my world. I saw a video earlier, this guy named the O'Shea guy. He had a video earlier. Now the Latins are taking over. And they're taking from Black people all the hard work they put in. Because John Leguizamo is trying to unite all the Latins. And John Leguizamo said, look at how hard we fought in this country. We built this country. And it was like, the teacups dropped. Like, you built this country? Gassed. Black people built this country. The slaves did. So I watched him twist that into telling Black people the Latins are coming for you.
That's so bad.
No saint, no lie. And let me tell you, they were eating it up in the comments, eating it up. It was like, eat, vultures, eat. So now the public enemy number one is no longer white people to Black people. Now it's John Leguizamo gathering all the Latins via Bad Bunny. This is literally happening online. So these are vultures. They're picking the meat off the bones of what CNN does, of what Fox News does, of what they're picking. Oh, there's money there for me. Not a lot, not as much as CNN, but let me get in there and pick the meat off the bones. Let me incense the Black people so I can get, I can sell some T-shirts and keychains after this and get them nice and incensed. But I'm like, so now it was, but the way he spun it, I was like, I see what you did there. That was good. That was good, dude.
Is this a big platform?
Huh?
Is it a big platform?
Oh, he has a huge platform. He has like 4 or 5 different channels.
Are you talking about Tariq?
No. O'Shea
Oh, okay.
O'Shea Jackson or whatever. I don't follow these people. People send me the videos, and I'm like, why are you sending me this? I just congratulated a man, and I'll say who it is. Kitchen and Cocktails attorney Kevin Kelly has been opening up restaurants in different states. He has a nightclub. His children are off to college. They're dressed the devil. I mean, amazing black man. So I'm going from congratulating him on his sons going to college to you sending me some shit O'Shea is saying about Latins are coming for us. We built this country. I'm like, it's filth. It's low vibe. But it's like, let me incense the blacks because I need to get content on this channel. And it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. But someone has to entertain the defeatist in this country, just like Trump. I mean, Trump does it with white trash. Yeah. Black content creators do it with black trash. Like, there have to be people to feed this demographic, right? Somebody has to entertain them. Because they don't want to follow the black men that are represent black excellence. No, it's too hard.
Right.
Who the hell wants to follow an attorney? You know how long I got to go to school to fucking be an attorney? I'd rather watch this guy tell me Latins are coming for us. Sorry. Yeah, it's like I'd rather hear the Latins are coming for us.
To me, it goes right along with any conspiracy, because to me, to say that anybody as a group is coming for you, which would mean it is planned, and there's a plan out there, and they're not telling you the plan, they're just executing the plan. It's just ridiculous. All that stuff is ridiculous to me. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is, and this isn't just with black people saying we built this country. It's with anybody mm-hmm. saying, taking mm-hmm. credit, like, mm-hmm. Einstein was Jewish and I'm Jewish, so therefore we did it. No, Einstein did it. You didn't do shit. Mm-hmm. Einstein came up with the theory of relativity. Just because he's Jewish or white doesn't mm-hmm. mean it has anything to do with me. So when people say we built this country, mm-hmm. your ancestors might have built the country. You didn't do shit. You might
That's
not
a great point.
Shit, though.
That's a great point.
And
mm-hmm.
so, yeah.
You benefit off of the people that really built this country. Dwayne Rose said John did not say that. You are taking a snippet of what he's speaking to. I didn't take a snippet. The content creator took a snippet. I didn't say John said that. I know John didn't say that. I know exactly what John said because I saw him say it. He was basically saying that when all Latins unite, they have political power, right? Whether it's Mexican, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, or whatever, together, they have more political power. And that's me paraphrasing. That's what John said. He never mentioned black people once, right? Not one time. Yeah. And it is a fact. If all the Latins get together, they do have political power in this country. That is a fact. He has every right to take up space and say that. Do I give a damn? No, I'm trying to make some money. Okay. I'm like, I don't have time to get him. John is older. He's established. He's a millionaire. He could play this game now. He can play the political game and do the Daily Show and shit like that. And he could play this game. I'm trying to get where he is. I don't have time to get involved in the Latins get together. We can have political power. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't even fucking vote. It's not my circus or my show or my monkeys or my clowns. It's just not. More power to anybody who chooses that life, but it's not my destiny. It's not my destiny. I love what I'm doing. I love the people I'm helping. I love the people that I'm connecting with. I love to see people do well. That is my network. That's who I like hanging with. I don't have no time to hear Latins are coming to get us. Like, it's like, come on, bro. But I get the hustle. And unfortunately, there's a certain black demographic that's very, very vulnerable to charlatans.
That's true.
They're very, very vulnerable to charlatans. Their experience in this country is very, very unique. They're always the target, right? And unfortunately, now even black people are taking advantage of how vulnerable that demographic is, and it's fucked up. Right? It's fucked up. And one thing I said about John Leguizamo is at least he punches up. At least he blames white people. At least he punches up, right? But these content creators, they punch sideways. Let's get the Latins when if you want to talk systemic oppression and systemic racism, well, that's white people. Our government is disproportionately white, old white men. So if you really about it, right? That's where you're going to go. But the art of war, what is this person teaching these other Black people? Get the Latins. It's easier. There's no Black and brown coalition. Get the Latins, right? Meanwhile, the Latins are at Bad Bunny, like minding their business, right? I'm like, that's where we are. We like Bad Bunny. That's where we are. So, it's just sad. It's fucked up. But I gave up trying to help those type of people. Right now I'm on a train and it's so who's jumping on board? I'm not even stopping it. It's about, if you want to get on this bitch, you better have your backpack on and you better have some jumps on you and some runs, because my train is train's leaving the station. Back in the day, I was like, no, stop the train. Everybody get on. Kumbaya. We love everybody. Let's now I'm just like, put my hat on and I'm like, you coming? If not, oh well. Got my little conductor hat on. It's sad. It's sad, man. It's fucking sad. And I've seen it in the Puerto Rican community. I did nonprofit work, with Puerto Ricans. They were fucking pocketing the money.
Yeah. We're human, right?
Yes.
Humans are going to do human things. You see it all the time. You see it in any group, whether you're marginalized or non-marginalized. Someone's going to take advantage, and they're going to pocket money off of you. I don't doubt that at all. Anybody, pretty much, you're rare if you don't see, like, that's why even rich people get caught doing crimes. I think I can get away with this, insider trading or whatever. They're already rich, but they can see, they think they can get away with something, they're going to go for it, and so it's sad.
Yeah. So I'm all about the people that are working, the people that are moving forward. And I know I'm sorry, I know way too many successful people of color, however you want to call them, okay, brown, Black. I know way too many successful people. And the thing I love about my network and my friends is when I ask them, do you know who such and such is on YouTube? They're like, I don't fucking know. Are you going to come to this networking thing or this gala? Are you coming to this award show? Hey, I'm opening up at blah, blah. Are you coming to this? Can we get this script together? Listen, I got a guy that I want to hook up with you because he's looking for a writer. These are the conversations I'm having, No Saint.
Yeah.
These are the conversations I'm having. These are the conversations I enjoy. I'm not, did you hear what Tariq Nasheed said about the Latinos? No, I did not, sir. I didn't. I didn't hear it. I did, but I'm sure it was entertaining. So next, again, every group has their fan base. Someone has to entertain them. Here, we're going to do Block Talent Battle on Saturdays, 8 p.m. We're going to help other people. I'm getting people that didn't make it last Saturday. Hit me up for this Saturday. I feel good that, some artists have reached out and thanked me for giving them the platform. Some of them are like, can I send you my trailer? Absolutely. Send me your trailer, say whatever. If I can share it, I will share it. And you better get me now, because yesterday's price will not be tomorrow's price. But I'm willing to help out and extend a hand because it costs me nothing. It costs me nothing to help a fellow artist and things like that. And that's what I'm worried about, No Saint. That's it. I'm not, but don't come jiggling my doorknob at 10 p.m.
No doubt. I will not do that.
Call me ahead of time, No Saint. And when you get there, yell my name from across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Jen,
I'll text you from across the street.
You're looking out the window like, who is that? No Saint? I think that No Saint. Make sure, though, because I don't fucking know. I think it's No Saint.
The warning is there. The warning is there. That's
I don't know too many white folk. Is that No
Saint? That's right.
But with that said, thank you so much for joining me tonight, No Saint. We didn't disagree too much, did we? I don't think we did.
No,
Not too much. Not too much. Don Levon says, I know it's to be sold, not told. Either get with the business or get left behind. That's why people of color are getting left behind. They don't know the game. Yeah, man. It's like Haran says, when you constantly move from a space of emotion and love, your perceptions will be tainted. Black people feel too much, far too reactive. Absolutely. And I'm not gonna let them, and oh no, Saint, they were trying hard. They done showed that baby in the hospital bed. I said,
I saw that picture. Yeah.
I was like, oh, dang. Why you gonna do that to me, right? You just say his little shirt is off. He still got blood on his. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's what y'all doing. There's what you doing to us right now. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, woosah, samurai. Okay, samurai, stay centered, stay focused. Let's talk about it tonight. But they'll get you. They'll get you, and you have to be mindful. They'll get you. That picture is horrific, right? Especially when you have children, but they'll get you. Got to be careful. But I'm really glad we had this conversation. We will revisit because this is going to get stickier and stickier. Because again, I don't think that man is going to do a lot of time, if at all. And that's going to, people are really, you already know what's going to happen, but they're just factors, and the law is the law, unfortunately, for
That's
everybody.
It. That is it.
The law is the law.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, don't forget, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button on your way out. You can catch Jen on the Block with Jen right here on YouTube, On the Block with Jen on Instagram, On the Block with Jen TikTok, On the Block with Instagram. Did I say Instagram?
Yep.
So there you go. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe.
All right, guys. Good night. We will see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.